The entire grid is spread out in ways that I don't think anyone really expected heading into Pocono. Eric Demax on pole. People can kind of expect that from CM Racing and Chevrolet. They have kind of been hitting their marks as of late. But Dillon Young outside pole. Jacob Hart back there in row 2. Dane Stinson for Joseph Shrigley Racing, qualifying in 6th position. We got some names up there in the top 10 that we usually don't see all that often. So it's good to see some of them guys, especially Dane Stinson, his 3rd Cup Series start today. Every start, he's kind of been a storyline. Hopefully round 3, his 3rd start is something to talk about, something very worthy to talk about at the end of the day. But coming into today's race, a lot to go over from Portland. Stephen Pollard III, unfortunately, suffered a severe accident after hitting the barrier of the concrete wall, and we're wishing him all the best. Ryan Reid will be racing in car 21 for today's race. Reid qualified that 21 car into the race, and he'll start 35th. The championship leader, Jake Baskinger, saw his championship rivals Dylan Schwellenberg and DJ Curtis suffer penalties after Portland. Both DJ Curtis and Dylan Schwellenberg wrecked a handful of drivers throughout the entire race at Portland. And the FBRL officials came down hard, thinking they drove recklessly and could have had a lot of avoidable accidents. And well, DJ Curtis suffered a 20-point penalty, and Dylan Schwellenberg suffered a 30-point penalty. Schwellenberg eventually went on to finish 2nd, but that 30-point penalty really hit him hard. Same with Curtis, who finished 7th in that race. Jake Baskinger now has about a whole race of a point lead with 6 races to go. And well, Baskinger lost the 2020 title by a penalty that he suffered at Road America to similar actions that Dylan Schwellenberg and DJ Curtis got handed out at Portland. Baskinger, coming to the end of his full-time campaign in his career, is very favorable odds right now of winning the championship. But from 2nd in the championship all the way back to 9th place in the championship, it's 50 points. And if Baskinger has a problem, it is still up in the air of who can win the championship this season. Many people believe it's all Baskinger's title to lose. But coming into round 21 here at Pocono, it's usually a tame race, but at the end of lap 1, we've seen a horrifying crash with Nick Mace. And well, you never know what can happen here at Pocono. Let's get down to start the race. Getting ready for an exciting event this afternoon. Very horrifying crash that Stephen Pollard III suffered out at Portland. Our drivers and team can only hope that today's race is a lot safer. We wish Stephen Pollard III all the best in his recovery. Dillon Young, Jacob Hart on the outside lane. Eric Demax, Dylan Schwellenberg on the inside lane. Zayden Davidson, who has had a very mix and toppy second half of the season, he's looking to turn things around and try and grab a race win. DJ Curtis, there's Dejon Weeks starting inside the top 10, but the green flag flies. We're racing at Pocono. All the way back there, Joseph Shrigley, Alex Benyako ducking out of line already. Richard Johnson doing the same thing. Starting up front, usually very important. Richard Johnson in the 47 leaning on Cody Lamas. Oh, contact! Further back, Blake Warren. I think that's Zachary Delio. That is also spinning a big crash off of turn 1. And Richard Johnson, Cody Lamas, that's a championship contender. And DJ Curtis is there too. On Dane Stinson again, getting put in the wall. There's a crash. Dejon Weeks spinning, but he saves it. Dejon Weeks keeps it straight. Oh, they're losing control of it. Shrigley trying to hang on to it. Wow, a lot of carnage in the end of lap 1. And Dillon Young, who started on the outside front row, getting shuffled all the way back. Eric Demax takes us to the yellow flag. I'm going to get a replay here. Blake Warren in car 79 thought he was clear, came up in front of Nick Mace. And, well, we all thought Cody Lamas was going to get turned by Richard Johnson. Johnson almost got put in the grass, but 4 wide, heading down into the tunnel turn, and Richard didn't lift. Richard did not let Lamas put him out in line. And Dejon Weeks unfortunately went off the bumper of Joseph Shrigley, but what a save by Dejon to keep it back on the racetrack. Lost a ton of positions there. Brandon Beal runs right in the back end of Logan Cloud as everyone checked up in turn 3. An eventful lap 1. And we only did 1 lap of racing under green flag conditions, but everyone is on pit road. A lot of different strategies here. Richard Johnson with gas only. Oh, crashing with Dane Stinson on pit road. Richard's going to leave pit road with the lead. Right side tires for Eric Demax. Wow, a lot of different strategies here. Some people topping off with fuel, and some getting right side tires. Logan Cloud and Zachary Fitzwater. Wow. Some drivers further back getting damage repair. 4 tires for some, but mainly right side tires and gas only stops for everybody. Coming back to the restart, Richard Johnson's in the lead with James Soarfox in the 34 in second, Jacob Hart in the 61 in third, Eric Demax, Matt Rodriguez, Dylan Schwellenberg, Zayden Davidson, DJ Curtis, Jeff James, and Sean Harple. That is your top 10. Looking further down the field, Dom Capps, Anthony Marchese, Alex Benyako, Peter Onchak, the championship leader, Jake Bassinger's in 15th, Jesse Turner, Charlie Smith, Logan Cloud, Matt DeLeo in the car 88. Oh, crashing further back! A car spinning on its top. We haven't even got green. 100 yards out from the start-finish line, and already a crash. Zachary Dalio in the 3. Spinning, and is probably going to be out of the race, if not a ton of damage that's going to keep him off the pace. Going to try and get a replay of it. Looked like it was a stack-up all the way back in turn 3. Looked like England in the 82 wanted to pass. Oh, and there it is. Dillon Young had an issue. That's going to be a black flag for everybody. Passing Young. And, well, everyone's stacked up. Dillon Young had an issue there. Zachary Fitzwater got spun. And Zachary Delio. I've always had a problem with saying his last name. DeLello. Zachary DeLello. And that's such a hard name for me to say, but everybody likes to get on me for that. But unfortunately for DeLello, he's going to be off the pace in today's race. And surprisingly, Eric Demax, racing back to the caution flag, was able to jump Richard Johnson like it was nothing. And Richard has no answer for anybody on that restart. He's going to fall all the way down to 3rd place. And I guess everyone's going to come down pit road as many times as they can. Tire wear here at Portland. Tire wear here at Pocono is kind of significant. So last year we only seen tires fall off not as bad. So 1-stop race last season. And you can tell Goodyear brought a tire that's not going to last as long. But everyone topping off with fuel here on pit road. An unusual start to today's race here at Pocono. And, well, the lead has changed hands, and it's really only done that through the hands of pit stops. James Orfox is the race leader as we come to the restart on lap 10. Sorfox leads over Eric Demax, who has looked like the best car, but we haven't really got any green flag laps to see. Matt Rodriguez is in 3rd now. DJ Curtis, Peter Onjak's up here. Matt DeLeo's in the top 10. A really weird running order as of late, but it's all down to strategy. Some people have come down and got right side tires. Some people only topping off with fuel. So, yeah, very interesting that pitting in this race this season is a whole lot more important than in seasons past. Eric Demax to the inside of James Sorfox. Eric Demax looks like the best car today, getting to the inside of Sorfox. Any pass we've seen going for the lead under green flag conditions, it's been Eric Demax. And so Demax taking the race lead. DJ Curtis and Dylan Schwellenberg both needing to try and find an answer in the championship after losing 20 and 30 points. There to the inside of Sorfox and Rodriguez, going for 2nd and 3rd. The last lap, Dejon Weeks just passed 5 race cars in a span of just 1 lap. So, under green flag conditions, it's only taken until lap 13, but we have 2 laps of green flag racing. A very intense couple of laps here at Pocono. Everyone's very aggressive today. But Weeks is trying to rebound after that half spin he did on the back straight. Up front, Dylan Schwellenberg just made a pass in the tunnel turn on Eric Demax, and here comes Zayden Davidson and the championship leader, Jake Baskinger. It's going to be very hard to try and make up points on Jake Baskinger in this championship battle. Zayden Davidson's looking pretty sporty out there right now. Here comes Davidson to the inside of Dylan Schwellenberg. And for Zayden Davidson, this is the kind of race he desperately needs in his championship battle. And for Davidson, it's just been a very hard season for him since Savannah, really. And I'm looking at his previous results for Zayden Davidson. He's only had a couple of top 10s. I see him in a span of 8 races. The last 8 races, he only had 3 top 10s. And a lot of them outside the top 20. Dylan Schwellenberg back to the inside, passing Davidson. Will Goss in the 51 car. Ryan Reid in the 21. Samuel England in the 82 have all came down pit road and changed right side tires. I'm not sure what issues they had. England and Reid pitted on the same lap, and Will Goss pitted on a different lap, but something caused them to come down pit road and get a change of tires. And, well, Will Goss is now a lap down. England and Reid possibly going to go a lap down if this goes green any longer. Dylan Schwellenberg leads as we come up on lap 20 out of 60. Schwellenberg over Davidson, Baskinger, Demax and Curtis the top 5. Rodriguez, Marchese, and Dejon Weeks back there in 8th. Shelley and Benyako. Then it's Lamas and Turner. That's the top 12. Sean Harple, teammate James Sorfox, Jacob Hart, the top 15s. Dom Capps, Charles Sanford, last race's winner at Portland. Kyle Collins, Jeff James, and Richard Johnson, the top 20. A little further back, some guys like Mitchell Collins, Ace Wild, and Brandon Beal, all inside the top 25, trying to get a top 20 run. As this race continues to go along, you're starting to see who the threats are. From about 8th on up, from Weeks all the way up to Dylan Schwellenberg, they all have the pace to win today's race, and Weeks going after another one, going for 7th position back there. And Jake Baskinger all over Zayden Davidson, and it's so good to see Zayden Davidson running well this afternoon. He's staying glued to the back end of the 10 car. Jake Baskinger to the inside of Zayden Davidson, trying to take 2nd place away. And Jake Baskinger, the championship leader, continuing to look very good. He's up in a 2nd place. We were just talking about how great of a run Mitchell Collins was having. The engine has let go on the 70 car, and that's a caution flag. That caution flag's out. Mitchell Collins has brought out another yellow flag that's going to bunch the field up. But it's a shame for Collins because he looked like he was going to have a great day in the points. Dylan Schwellenberg entered as the leader on pit road. There he is leaving pit road. It's been a very dangerous place on pit road. Zayden Davidson just behind him. Dejon Weeks has been making up a ton of positions today after his half spin. There's Jake Baskinger. He's going to get 2nd. There's pole sitter Eric Demax. And Dejon Weeks very methodically has been moving his way up the running order. He's now into 4th. What a rebound. Coming back to the green flag. John Art didn't pit, so John Art is the race leader. Good to see car 43 back in the race lead here at Pocono. Ryan Griffin won this race, I believe, for Allen Family Racing Team back in 2019. As we come back to the restart, halfway in the race, we're going to have one more pit stop in us. Dylan Schwellenberg, Jake Baskinger, championship rivals, line up 2nd and 3rd. What a block by Jake Baskinger. Everybody fanning out. Demax now going to the inside. Here comes Weeks, going to block Demax. Weeks is going to take this opportunity to go right by that 97 car, and Art's just a standing duck. The 43 cannot go. Tires are very important here at Pocono. Very weird call by Allen Family Racing Team there. They're going to lose a ton of positions. Here comes Weeks to the inside, helping along the 91. Oh, caution flag is out. And this might actually help the 43 of John Art if they end up pitting again like they have. Look at Weeks spinning the 91. Oh, what a save by Zayden Davidson. Dejon Weeks, I think, is going to get the lead. Schwellenberg and Curtis 3-1 at the line. Oh, my goodness. And Jeffrey White, he's going to be limping back to pit road. I've never seen a car look that bad. No left front corner panel for Jeffrey White. Definitely a left front tire down as he limps it back to pit road. Here's a replay. Oh, and Charlie Smith, Cole Baker. Baker slides up at Richard Johnson. Contact with Baker from the wall to Acosta. Oh, and Costa was trying to save it. Spun back up into Jeffrey White. And a pretty big hit from Acosta to White. Jeffrey White hasn't really been having the best day. He was down in 39th, last on the lead lap. Oh, and there's Ryan Acosta. He tried to get to the outside to miss Acosta, but it was a last-ditch effort to get to the outside, and Jeffrey White's out of the race now. How about this? This is for the lead, heading back to the caution flag. Dejon Weeks just runs over Zayden Davidson, and Davidson could have gassed it up and ran Weeks up in the wall if he was really mad about it, which some drivers out there are petty enough to do that. Just asked Schwellenberg and Curtis, you know, last week that happened at Portland, which may be exactly why Davidson didn't want to do that. I don't know. This race has really been all over the place. DJ Curtis is now the new race leader over James Shelley, Dejon Weeks, Dylan Schwellenberg, Zayden Davidson, Eric Demax, Matt Rodriguez, Alex Bianco, Jacob Hart, and Cody Lamas. Already on the go, Eric Demax ducking out of line, trying to pass Zayden Davidson. Dylan Schwellenberg to the inside of Weeks. Shelley pushing DJ Curtis out in front, past Will Goss, the lap car. Goss has been down on power a little bit in this race. That was the issue that Goss had early on in the race. But Dylan Schwellenberg passing Shelley for second position. All three drivers right here. Curtis, Schwellenberg, and Weeks desperately need this in the championship. They need to make up some points. Jake Baskinger, the 97, took right side tires heading into these final stops. And this is going to help him in the long run try and make up all that them ground. Dejon Weeks is looking pretty good, going to the inside of Dylan Schwellenberg. Schwellenberg trying to fend off Dejon Weeks. Eric Demax, who has also been very quick all race, closing in on this battle with the top three, takes a peek to the inside. Looks like he wants to dive bomb it. He's going to get there. What a move. I don't even think Dejon Weeks was really expecting a lunge from that far back, but Eric Demax has gotten to the inside and is going to get into the third place. Matt Rodriguez possibly going to try and slide on through here. Shelley in the 71 just behind Alex Bianco and Davidson. That is the top eight, and 8 drivers all kind of hanging in here. And you got to tip your cap to Jeff James and Joseph Strigley Racing. Dane Stinson qualified really well, but he got kicked way back. Jeff James running in the top 10 right now, and Jake Baskinger slowly but surely coming back to the front. Another late lunge down to the tunnel turn. Eric Demax is just so good at doing that to the inside of Dylan Schwellenberg. And Schwellenberg's teammate Matt Rodriguez is there in car 9. On Dejon Weeks is there. Weeks giving Rodriguez the bumper. Kind of bumped him in the corner, but Eric Demax creeping out ahead. It's going to clear car 10. Here comes Jake Baskinger to the inside of Dejon Weeks. And man, that call to just say, you know what, we don't need to be as far up the grid as we need to be. We need tires. Tires are going to be very important in this race. And that call to change right side tires, take a loss at that point in the race, get themselves mired back in traffic, ended up paying up in the long run. Baskinger's now into 4th place, a little deeper back in the top 10. Charles Sanford for Red Bull Racing to the inside of the 8. Sanford and Red Bull Racing have really clicked off as of late, and it's good to see Red Bull Racing really showing their all here. Baskinger to the inside of Dylan Schwellenberg. 8 laps to go. Baskinger's got the better tires than any of these guys in the front, and it's going to pay off. I just know it is. And past of Dylan Schwellenberg, now he only has is the very aggressive 0 of Eric Demax just to deal with. And then he's got Curtis. Oh man, very loose off the tunnel turn was Jake Baskinger. To the inside again. He just wants to make a pass so bad. Can't quite do anything there. Dejon Weeks can't get to the gas like Jake Baskinger can. Has his hands full with Dylan Schwellenberg. Charles Sanford took right side tires as well. He's also coming through the field. Charles Sanford looks like he wants to make a move 3-1. Tucks back in. Schwellenberg and Weeks continuing to do battle. Weeks around the outside. Very impressive there. We haven't really seen a pass be made on the outside, but Weeks is able to hold Schwellenberg off. And Sanford up there in car 83. The 19's pitting. We're seeing green flag pit stops. Very interesting to see how Jake Baskinger and Turner Performance react. Turner Performance Racing are the favorite to win this championship. They can't afford to blow it here in these final 6 races. And Baskinger looks like he's motioning his way to the inside. He's going to make a pit here. And well, it'll be about a little over 15 laps to go when pit stops cycle out. Dejon Weeks is the only one to stay out, but it is James Shelley over Jake Baskinger now. Baskinger has gotten ahead of DJ Curtis, and Jake Baskinger just driving it to the inside of James Shelley, and the championship leader is out front at Pocono, and that's going to be very hard to beat Jake Baskinger for the remainder of this race. DJ Curtis to the inside of James Shelley, and Curtis is up into second. Matthew Rodriguez has moved his way into 4th position, and he actually looks like he's got some pace. He's trying to close in on James Shelley, but with that far of a distance, it's going to be very hard for anybody from 4th on back to make up anything. I can't point to anything severely wrong with the 17 car of Jesse Turner, but Turner has just really not been that fast this race weekend. A lot of people pointing to Jesse Turner as having a real good chance at going back-to-back in 2022 to win the championship once again. But for the guy that won 10 races last season, not a single win at all this season. And the season is rapidly coming to a close. And, well, for Turner, chances of grabbing a win are slowly diminishing. And he's down here in 17th position on raw pace. Closing in on the very end of this race. James Shelley to the inside of DJ Curtis for 2nd position, and Jake Baskinger is just long gone. Even a caution flag at this point is not going to keep Jake Baskinger from winning this race. And Rodriguez and Eric Demax, with 2 laps to go, are now on the podium positions, and Jake Baskinger just needs to bring it home. Coming to take the white flag, Jake Baskinger, the championship leader by about 4 seconds over Matthew Rodriguez, is looking to put in his 4th win of the 2022 season. A couple races ago at Darlington, Jake Baskinger scored his 23rd career win, tying him with Jesse Turner for 5th on the all-time wins list. And that win put him in the championship lead back again. He lost the lead to Dylan Schwellenberg just about halfway in the summer. And he's been fighting and clawing to try and get his way back into the championship lead. He did that at Darlington. His championship rivals faltered and got penalized at Portland. He kept his cool. He extended the championship margin because of that. He's going to extend it again by winning at Pocono by now over a full race in the championship. More than 50 points. Baskinger leads over Curtis in the Drivers' Championship. Matthew Rodriguez needed this kind of day. It's not a victory, but it's 2nd place. And it's what the 9 team needs. Some momentum on their side, showing that they can contend for the race wins. Eric Demax finishes on the podium. He had a car that really could have won today, but 3rd place and on the podium. DJ Curtis finishes 4th, loses 9 points to Jake Baskinger. And he's going to find himself, and the whole field are going to find themselves more than a race behind Jake Baskinger in the championship. And it's going to be very difficult with 5 races to go to take the championship away from him. Shelley 5th. Dom caps a good run for him in 7th. Zayden Davidson needed this kind of day to show that he can still get it done. Cybertron Motorsports have been struggling with both of their cars other than DJ Curtis, with Cole Baker and Zayden Davidson. And well, 6th and 7th. Cody Lamas in 8th. Dylan Schwellenberg back there in 9th. And Charles Sanford, last week's winner, he finishes in 10th. Congratulations to Jake Baskinger and Total Performance Racing on continuing to be super strong in this championship battle. Another race win, and this win ties him with the most wins of all of 2022, alongside of Dejon Weeks of 4 wins. If he wins one more race, if Jake Baskinger wins another race, he will be tied for 3rd on the all-time wins list with Richard Johnson and Luke Martin. And in his final full-time season, Jake Baskinger, it feels like a dream. But getting redemption from the 2020 season, Jake Baskinger is the favorite at this point. It's all going to come down to if Jake Baskinger or Turn Performance Racing falters with that 97 car. That opens the door to the rest of the field in terms of the championship battle. But next race, we go to North Wilkesboro, and anything can really happen there. It's a short track, and short track racing is always action-packed. We'll see you next time for round 22.